Hello there, it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astrologist. Welcome to Star Codes, the podcast where we look at an upcoming event in the stars and numbers, the astrology and numerology. And in this case, it is the final full moon before Pluto moves into Aquarius. And this is the Taurus full moon on November 15th. And what makes that so striking is that Taurus is an earth sign. Capricorn, where Pluto is moving to for 20 years, is an earth sign. And Venus, the ruler of this full moon, ruler of Taurus, is in Capricorn at the moment of this full moon and also when Pluto moves into Capricorn. So very striking. So let's start with the time. The date is the 15th of November and the time is 9:29 p.m. Universal Time, which is 4:29 p.m. Eastern New York and 1:29 p.m. Pacific, LA. Now, you don't have to be a Taurus to benefit from this forecast because you have Taurus and Scorpio obviously in your birth chart, and the full moon is at 24 degrees Taurus with the sun at 24 degrees Scorpio. So that is happening in a certain house and creating certain aspects inevitably in your chart. So everyone benefits from this forecast. So the final lunation before Pluto moves into Capricorn, this is big because it's actually 4 days prior to Pluto's change of signs into Aquarius, which happens on November 19th. So there's a real sense of grounding with all this earth sign energy. And that means that you are very connected, very deeply, and you feel a sense of I'm being taken care of. There's a sense of security here that is natural. And it means that you can remain in that place of security and grounding that's internal as we move through the shifts that are inevitable and already in play now and will continue through 2025. Now, the shifts that we're going to experience in 2025, they are also represented in this Taurus full moon because Uranus, the planet of awakening and shifts and surprises and breakthroughs and sudden events, that planet is exactly or almost exactly conjunct the moon. Uranus is at 25 degrees, the moon at 24 degrees Taurus. And furthermore, Uranus rules Aquarius. What a storyline this is. Pluto days away from moving into Aquarius for 20 years. Uranus is conjunct the final full moon before Pluto moves into Aquarius. So this star code sets up such a beautiful sense of security and peace. And it's a welcoming party in the earth signs with Venus, the ruler of this Taurus full moon, in Capricorn. And we'll be in Capricorn as well when Pluto leaves that sign. So it's literally stabilizing the energy and allowing us to move through all the upheavals, the shifts, the breakthroughs, the changes, the shocking events, the sudden change of directions or sudden revelations, right? Pluto really brings all that up. And Pluto is part of this code because Pluto rules Scorpio. Remember, the sun is at 24 degrees Scorpio opposite the moon at 24 degrees Taurus. So we have this very intimate connection now between these signs, Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Capricorn. So I would say that we are being helped to break free from the past. There's a lot here that is unusual in terms of you welcoming the unusual, which Uranus represents, that genius, that ingenious, out of the box, politically incorrect, go the other direction, go tangential, think outside the box energy. And that is the inventive energy. And Aquarius represents that as well. And so as the ruler of Scorpio, the co-ruler, because Mars is the other ruler, and we're going to get to that in a moment, as the ruler of Scorpio moves into that sign of Aquarius 4 days after this final full moon, there is a real sense of the unforeseen, of almost like a sense that you are navigating uncharted waters and there's really no playbook, guidebook. And so it's going from 29 degrees Pluto to 0 degrees, And then we have this gorgeous code for the full moon itself, which is showing stability and love and compassion. 24 degrees reduces to 6. November 15th, 15 reduces to 6. 1 plus 5 is 6. 2 plus 4 equals 6. So 6 is love, family, security, abundance. It's nurturing. It's truly a magical opportunity here that we have to tune in to rebirth and healing. And there's even a triangle with Pluto to the actual full moon itself. Pluto is trine to the moon, being at 29 degrees, almost going into Aquarius. It's at 29 degrees Capricorn. And the moon is in Taurus at 24 degrees. That creates a trine. And then there's a sextile to the sun in Scorpio from Pluto, and Pluto rules Scorpio. So there's a really lovely, deep, profound energy of truth and healing that's generated as well. Now the sun is trine to Neptune and the moon sextile Neptune, and Neptune provides another watery spiritual energy. You know, Pluto is watery as well, being the ruler of Scorpio, a water sign. Neptune rules Pisces, another water sign, and they're creating these beautiful contacts to the sun and moon. And this really provides a mystical, psychic, intuitive, highly sensitive and compassionate energy that is very, very welcome, of course, at this time of shift. We want to not judge, we want to be compassionate and understanding. So aside from the opposition of sun and moon, and also Uranus, which is conjunct the moon, is also opposite the sun, we have one more opposition that is very important, and that is Mercury opposite Jupiter. And this is such a fascinating opposition because they are in each other's signs. Jupiter is currently in Gemini, and Mercury is in Sagittarius. And Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Mercury rules Gemini. That means there's mutual reception. Now, Mercury is in detriment in Sagittarius, and Jupiter is in detriment in Gemini. However, and that means they're weakened in those signs when you just look at them separately, right? Out of context. But in context, they're now opposite each other, and they are literally strengthening each other, which means that there's a lot more optimism. We are supporting each other. So Jupiter and Gemini, very optimistic in terms of the communication. Mercury in Sagittarius means wise communication, happy connection, and it strengthens these two planets and just gives you that optimistic outlook, which is really, really important, of course, during this major transition that Pluto's going through. And then, of course, there is Taurus itself. Taurus governs the second house in astrology, and that is the house of abundance, of values, of patience, of security, of sensual pleasure, of perseverance, of honor, of contentment, of peace. And that means your whole sense, Venus rules Taurus. So there is a sense of sensuality and beauty and just wanting to feel the pleasures of life, the aromas, the tastes, the sensual comforts. Taurus loves to experience things in real time and just to be very present with what it values. And it can be very simple. It could be a material comfort, but it can also be a good book. It can be a scrumptious meal or a really inspiring conversation with a friend. So there's a sense of real gratitude and appreciation for the simple things in life with Taurus. It's a very grounded sign. It can be stubborn as well, of course, and it can be thick-headed. The thing is that the solid foundation of Taurus, the thoroughness, the persistence, the progressing step by step, which is indicative of all three earth signs, is really beautiful. And it helps you rely on the divine. It helps you to feel the trust in the divine. And so there's a sense of having strong values within you that will never be sacrificed for something trivial. So you're taking appropriate boundaries, and you are also, because Uranus is in Taurus, which is very It's actually very helpful in this case because Taurus is not open to change. It is much more set in its ways as a sign. But Uranus is the planet of change. So your resistance to change is actually helped by Uranus being conjunct the moon. It might be difficult, to make a change in something that you want to keep the same, of course. And so you have to look at attachment to things and possessiveness, possessing actually something material or just a sense of, being in possession of something. Stubbornness as well. But Uranus is coming in and shaking that up and helping to just release before Pluto leaves Capricorn, the sign that is trine to Taurus, with Venus in that sign. Venus, the ruler of Taurus, is in Capricorn. So there's a real sense of self-acceptance and acceptance of beauty and acceptance of flow and pleasure. So we want to really be grateful for all these placements of planets for this incredible full moon at 15 degrees, the spiritual alchemist number, the number of magic and joy, uplifting others through love and happiness. And one more aspect I want to mention, Mercury is trine to Chiron. So Mercury is not only opposite Jupiter, but trine to Chiron. Chiron is in Aries. And that can really activate healing through connection with others or reading about ancient wisdom or learning a healing modality. For example, sharing a healing modality, sharing a message of healing. Your ability to gift others in terms of giving them nurturing direction is really enhanced with this trine. So your life as a healer is made visible to the world in a trine like this, and especially if you share the wisdom in written or spoken form. And when I say healer, it's not just hands-on healing or being in the healing profession. We are all healers no matter what profession we're in or no matter what we're doing or being. There's a sense of healing that can come by your very presence. So it's a very important sense, just like you can have love anywhere at any time, gratitude, healing is the same. Now, one more thing is that November is a 10 universal month. Pluto's entering a new sign on the 19th, and 19 reduces to 10. 1 plus 9 is 10. So there's a lot of new beginnings energy. Full moons are not about new beginnings, they're about culminations. However, because of this other numerology code, we are also entering a new state of being. There's an endings and beginnings message here. That new beginnings message, coupled with an endings message, continues, of course, in 2025, which is a 9 universal year of endings, and has the rest of the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter, and Saturn, all changing signs to 0 degrees of a new sign. And these are slow moving planets. They take from 1 year to many, many, many years to go through signs. So it's a really big deal when they all change signs in 1 year. In fact, within 6-7 months, they're doing this in 2025. And that's why my ultimate yearly forecast for 2025 is going to be so important. It is focusing on that shift, the middle year of the 2020s, and what is going to happen in the stars and numbers. So you can watch a short video at 2025forecast.com where I go into all the incredible celestial secrets that we're going to cover. And just know there's a limited time left for getting the early bird special price for the forecast. We will be getting together on December 13th. Yes, it's Friday the 13th, and there's a reason for that, as you'll find out. And if you can't make it, of course, we're going to have an instant access replay for the rest of the next 12 months for you to partake in. There are lots of PDFs. There's lots of fun stuff. So head on over to 2025forecast.com to watch a short video about 2025 and have an incredible Taurus full moon. I wish you all the best. And lots of love. I'll see you next week.